What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to another chapter of Culturally Irrelevant, the podcast where we discuss a collection of today's most significant cultural topics. We're going to have a great time. We're going to stay grounded in the biblical worldview. My name is Miguel. I'm joined by my best friends and soon to be yours, David and Brandon. What's up, boys?
Oh, yes. What's up, guys? We're back.
Hey, welcome back, me.
Welcome back, you. We are down our main man, Will. Ooh, I just forgot his name, but he forgot my name in like episode 3. So that's revenge. He is on a travel day today, so we are down to 3 again. But we're excited to bring to you all of our wisdom and culturally relevant enlightenment while making you laugh the entire way. But
do you think he's watching? Did anybody tell him we were going live right now?
He's in the Admirals Club. I was just on the phone with him, and he ain't watching.
They don't have Wi-Fi there?
Oh, dude.
No, everybody knows. The Admirals Club is for the poors.
He's watching Bridgerton, obvious. Everyone knows.
That's true. It is that time of year, isn't it?
First of all, hold on. It's a funny joke. But second of all, we should not poop on Bridgerton because it's actually riveting TV.
I wasn't joking.
Oh, riveting TV. The soundtrack, exquisite. The emotional drama, incredible. And the period piece, I love a good period piece.
All I heard was, all right, never mind.
Look,
it's both things.
Since it's just the 3 of us right now, let's talk about something that's happening this Saturday. The 3 of us are going to Renfest, and if I'm not mistaken, Brandon's the only veteran here. David and myself, this is our first time, right?
I've renned.
You've renned before. I've never renned before. I am so excited. We are dressing up. It is pirate themed. So for all of our fans and sycophants out there, come find us at Renfest. Check in with Culturally Relevant, your favorite podcast.
Do not find us.
Don't bother me.
Leave me alone. No.
I get this one time a year.
No
Oh
one.
man, I'm here for the selfies. I'll sign autographs,
Not
shake
trying to do
babies,
meet
all
and
that
greet.
stuff.
No.
Don't find us.
If you come up to Miguel, it's going to be a problem. There's going to be a lot of swords in the area.
What is it that I can expect at this Renfest? Is it just walk around and have some beers from people with accents, or like is there going to be activities, shows, challenges? Like, what are we going to be diving into on Saturday? Because I think we scheduled ourselves for like 7 hours there. What are we doing for 7 hours?
I'm driving separate, by the way, and I have a thing around 3:30. So.
Okay, he'll be there for 30 minutes.
You better not. There's a lot of shows, a lot of activities, a lot of food, a lot of, there's a lot of scheduled, like, kind of big ticket things. So the biggest is the Tournament of Champions, where you have part 1 in the afternoon, probably around 2:30 or so, and then you have part 2 that happens at around like 4:30 or 5.
Ooh.
And that's on the joust field.
So there's like actual jousting?
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. They have, your Renaissance period appropriate entertainment, jugglers, fire people. You'll have like bards and tents doing like funny dark poetry and joking stuff and music. I mean, you have no idea. There's a reason why it's the greatest. That's it. Just the greatest.
Fun trivia for our listeners. What does Renaissance mean, Brandon?
I'm not a listener. I'm actively on the show right now.
Okay, whatever. What does Renaissance mean?
So if we break down
what does it mean?
The etymology of the word.
What does it mean?
Renaissance, I mean...
You don't actually know what it means, for real?
Well, I mean, I know the time period.
What does the word Renaissance mean? You don't know what the word Renaissance means? Wow.
It's...
Rebirth, buddy. Come on, man. Dude, really?
Okay. I don't know the definition.
There's going to be a rebirth.
Latin.
There's going to be a rebirth of me as a pirate on Saturday because we got permission from, I won't say who, but somebody very highly connected at Coleridge got us access to some fire costumes and pieces, and there's going to be a renaissance of Miguel from his pirate era. I'm practicing accents. I'm practicing shanties. It's going to be legit.
Don't let me forget my guitar.
I will not let you forget your guitar because that is everything to my costume. You will not forget it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and also, sometimes we partake in a sip or two,
or 3. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And the cool thing is that you get these copper mugs. They're about this big. One time, just as an experiment, I was able to fit 2 like tall cans into it, and there was still room. So that's how much can fit into one of these things.
Wow.
It's
And
like
you
a
get
value tankard.
Yeah, when you get the whole thing filled up from the tap, and they have really good beers on tap there, and it's like $13 or $14 to fill that thing up.
For those of you that are watching us on stream, there's quite a few of you, by the way. Thank you for joining. I don't know if you are as distracted as I am, but we got to talk about David's mustache right now. Tell me the inspiration behind such a bold style choice. Because if I'm not mistaken, it's only been around for a week, a few days. I don't even remember seeing it last week, to be honest.
I've done a mustache probably 45 times in my life. Sometimes I just want to shave my beard.
And just leave a little accent caterpillar on your lip?
I don't know. I just do it. And
Can you do the thing where you make it go like this?
No, yeah, it's the word. I've never gotten a single compliment. But sometimes I'm such a contrarian that it's just like, yeah, I'll look ugly today, and I just look ugly. And
no, time out. I think you misinterpreted my intention.
No, I'm being dead serious, though.
I want to compliment you on your beautiful, thick, luscious mustache. It's amazing, really. It's amazing. Speaking of amazing, you know what else was amazing? Was watching USA beat that Canadian ham
I'm getting
for the
whiplash
Four
right
Nations tournament.
Don't say beat that Canadian ham. That's disgusting. This is a Christian podcast.
I should have said Canadian bacon. I think that was the punchline I was going for, but I messed it up. I'm sorry.
now. Canadian bacon.
All right, from the top, and in 3, 2.
You know what else is awesome is watching the U.S. beat that Canadian bacon at this Four Nations tournament.
They beat that Canadian poutine. Sorry, I peaked. Poutine.
I don't know. I as a very nascent, I'm not sure how to say that word. As a very brand new hockey fan, as a brand new hockey fan, it's kind of crazy to get caught up in this storm of like hockey has just defined our country for like 3 days. And I have a conspiracy.
3 days.
You sound like a rookie over here, bro. You don't watch hockey? What are you doing?
I'm just saying, it's kind of like I'm at that like FIFA World Cup status. Like, oh, there's a Four Nations tournament. I'm gonna go check it out, and it was incredible. I also have a conspiracy theory about
real hockey fans.
Oh, I want to hear your conspiracy theory about it. Go ahead.
What were you gonna say about real hockey fans there, Brandon?
I'm just saying, like, nobody's even watching the Four Nations. Everybody's
incorrect.
Everybody's just bummed out that it takes 4 weeks away from proper hockey in the NHL.
No, everyone's watching it, and people have American jerseys. I was at the Panthers practice arena the other day, and we were playing one of the teams, and there was 1 million old people with jerseys on. There's hype, so don't.
Well, no,
I disagree with both of you.
That's for the Olympics. Nobody cares about the Four Nations.
It's the Four Nations jerseys, bud. They released jerseys specifically for the Four Nations.
This was a question I had because the Four Nations tournament replaced like their All-Star festivities, if I'm not mistaken. Is the Team USA and the Team Canada and Team Finland, Team Sweden, blah blah, are those the Olympic teams that played, or is this they're just calling themselves Team USA, but it has nothing to do with the Olympic Team USA?
No, it's the Olympic. If I'm not mistaken, I think in the last Winter Olympics, a lot of the pros did not play in the Olympics. I think it was kind of like the underling kind of squads that actually show up for that these days. Because I think the Winter Olympics happens during hockey season.
Yes. So I guess that affects a lot of the abilities for pros to be on there. Well, I'm excited for the final. It's Thursday. I believe it's USA and Canada again, so that's kind of weird, but okay.
I don't like that. I
love it. I love it. Let's just rub their faces in the dirt. Let's beat
that Canadian bacon again.
Well, Oh, okay, that's fine. I saw a bunch of people on X be like, we weren't booing America, we were booing your president. I'm like, nah, mate, you're booing America, and that's so like just low class, and like we get it. You guys live in the forest, which is fine, but like show some class at a hockey game and don't boo us, maybe.
Especially considering like I've never had a bad thing to say about Justin Trudeau.
I have.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I said a lot of bad things about Justin Trudeau.
Walking it back.
He deserved it.
Yeah, more like Justin. More like Justin Trudeau.
Ooh,
all right, can I share it?
Hey, Justin, too slow.
More like Justin loser. All right, go ahead.
Justin, your country sucks at hockey.
Mr. Trudeau, if you're listening to this, please don't take any offense.
Stop listening.
So here's my conspiracy theory, and I'm going to share. Will's not here. You know, Will's kind of sort of connected with Washington, and I won't talk about it a lot because that's his stuff to talk about. But let's just say he's a guy with some important history. So when he's around, I feel like I got to be more serious. But since he's not here, I'm going to share a wild one. How possible is it that all of this, we're going to take over Canada and make them the 51st state. No, Canada hates us, blah, blah, blah. How much of that was not funded by the NHL just to drum up excitement for this tournament
No.
that has then blown
Zero.
itself up as USA
Nope.
beats Canada?
No.
No.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's
I
not
feel
the
like if
cause.
Will was here, he would support me.
No.
No.
Well, no, it's.
Wait,
I think you have it backwards.
Yeah,
I thi-
but we love you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think it definitely made things more exciting, and I think it made people. But honestly, the Canadians that are actually like on the ice playing hockey, like most of them are, from my understanding, are like cool. Like they're not like the like liberal Canadians. They're like just dudes, and I think that's the best part about hockey. Is like it's still full of just dudes. It's not. There's not this heavy political presence everywhere. There's not, always trying to make a statement in one way or the other. It's not people getting, carted off the field because they twisted their ankle or people shouting for penalties every time they get brushed up against. It's just dudes who, they just want to play and they want to settle it out.
Yeah, they're not
on the ice.
They're not being taken off that ice field. There's, they just play until their teeth get knocked out of their head. And then after all 3 periods, shake hands, get off the ice field. Right?
Guys, that's
Yeah,
a rock
precisely.
solid pitch for the
Yeah.
NHL right there. That's
I
amazing.
mean, I'm sure you guys and a lot of people that are listening saw that clip of just the guy getting blasted into tomorrow up against
Yeah.
the board, and it's like that's not uncommon. And the guy
He
just
just
pops
got
right
up and
back
kept
up.
skating.
He just
Yeah,
gets
like,
up.
No.
LeBron James
Don't.
would his kids
The game would
wouldn't
come
be able
to
to
a
play
stop.
basketball ever again. He wouldn't quit until the game of basketball was made illegal. Is how hard he would.
Protest that foul.
There was a lot of vitriol behind. Is that the right word? I don't know. There's a lot of animosity between the two teams. Matthew and Brady Kachuk were both like, yeah, it bothered me, them booing us.
Yeah.
And
But also,
so-
how
so-
cool is it that that's our guy?
We love the Kachucks. But, you don't see hits like that during regular NHL games. They wanted to kill each other.
there was
You doing
definitely
the
animosity there.
playoffs?
I've never seen someone's... come on. The one we're talking about, that was insane.
Oh, absolutely.
That was insane.
No, that happens all the time. You got to look up
I don't.
a compilation of.
Oh, thank you. I've never watched
hardest
hockey.
hockey hits.
Oh, is that
No,
what I
like
should
a
do?
compilation of the hits whenever you're
Okay.
getting people knocked physically through.
No, I'll do that right
the
now.
glass.
I'll do that right now.
Pause.
Let me go to Neopets videos and see if I can pull something up. You dummy. You're so annoying, bro.
Speaking of
You
sports,
should look out Kachuk getting whenever he got hurt. He broke his sternum in the playoffs 2 years ago.
I was
whenever he
probably at
coming
the game.
across.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, you were in Vegas.
I'm done with you. All right, Miguel. Miguel, go.
Ooh, I don't know. It kind of got you there. That's all right though. Hey, just to stay on sports for another topic. I know
Yeah.
we talked about that. I know we talked about the halftime show last week or the week before.
Ah.
But I saw the stat as of February 17th. Kendrick Lamar becomes the first rapper to pop 100 million, or let's think it was like 117 or something, a month on Spotify. The list is really short. The Weeknd, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Bruno Mars, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Mariah Carey. Short list of people that are that massive on Spotify. But does it show that the Super Bowl was actually massive? I mean, we were
No.
criticizing it a little bit, but it feels like in terms of mass market impact, the Super Bowl is king. I mean, it took this guy, launched him into the
yeah,
stratosphere, and he was already super famous, but he wasn't peaking 100 million, and now one Super Bowl show, and he's blowing Spotify up.
I mean, it's the biggest live event in the world every year.
No,
so it's definitely
wrong.
Is that not true?
The World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup is
What?
every 4 years. That
Like
cheats.
combined.
I'm
Not
also
for
pretty sure.
not a single match in the World Cup does not match the viewership for the Super Bowl.
The final. Are you kidding me?
It doesn't. Look it up.
Bro, that's
I'm pretty
silly,
sure I saw
dude.
last
Live
year.
fact check.
statistic-
Wow.
Live fact check.
I saw an article or a graph of the 100 biggest live events of the year, and NFL had 96 or 97 or something like that. So in terms of live appeal, it's definitely king. I would have thought that the Super Bowl was not that. I mean, that the halftime show was not that big of a deal. I don't know. If you get up there.
Hey, more people watched the Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
162 million than the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
most of those people don't even
bing,
know
We
what
only
they're
had
bing, bing, bong.
133.
Wait, but the Eurovision Song Contest is another thing that goes across multiple days.
So is that an aggregate total? That is an important number.
Be
That
right
is
back.
important.
You guys keep talking. I'm gonna
Live fact.
That's ChatGPT like a normal person.
Yeah.
But,
Are you,
but interesting thing that I did learn, because I saw that you added that little statistic about the 100 million to the show sheet. Did you know that he was, although a lot of Spotify listeners, number 3 in global listens for hip hop?
wow.
Yeah, he was behind Eminem and Drake for
Let's
the
go,
most
Eminem.
sales in the hip hop genre. So, Drake still kind of has his number. And honestly, after I know I wasn't here to like talk about the Super Bowl stuff.
No, but give us your piece.
Well, and I don't even really want to spend time on it, but I will say, I started to kind of feel a little bit for Drake a little bit.
Darn
Where
it.
I was like, this is getting a little. This is. I know we don't have to talk about it, David.
No, I was talking about the thing. Chat GPT's broken, I guess, but
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It always is.
it said Putt
Ask
National Championship #1, 5 billion views. All right, that's
Incredible.
Moving on.
That's how well they do.
right,
Every
sorry.
time.
Talk about misinformation.
You were talking about the pedophile that you think got a bad rap. Go ahead.
Whoa.
I just think, well, no, it's not even that I like feel bad for Drake. I almost feel like with Kendrick Lamar, it's almost getting embarrassing a little bit, to where it's like, we get it, like you proved what you have to prove, but now you're taking like your 4th victory lap, and it's starting to be like your entire identity is now attached to Drake, and Drake is like,
it does feel like a little bit of an overinvestment on his part.
well, Drake's been smart. He's like kind of like stayed quiet, done his own thing. And Kendrick Lamar,
No,
now,
he hasn't, bro. He played in Australia and he came out with like a sweater with like bullet holes in it. And
Yeah,
then,
but that was hard,
And then
dude.
played to a dead crowd. You're clearly a Drake fan, but like, who cares?
Was
I'm
that the
not
clip?
actually.
Was that
I'm
the
truly
clip
not.
where he was like air guitaring a machine gun or whatever?
Yeah, he like changed the lyrics to his songs to like talk about it. It's just like, bro. Dude.
I'm just saying, at this point, when you can't think about Kendrick Lamar without thinking of
not
Drake.
think about Drake. That's true. He's
like,
kind of
that kinda
attached
sucks.
himself.
Whenever I think of Kendrick Lamar, I think of Drake wheeling around in a wheelchair during Degrassi. What a great.
Speaking of rappers, let's talk about the one rapper that has maybe taken more narrative turns than any character in any story ever conceptualized.
KJ52.
Katy Perry.
Perry. No, let's talk about Kanye West, currently known
Ooh.
as just Ye.
Well, yeah,
the guy who
come on,
started
dude,
off
don't-
as a super clean rapper. And when I say clean, like just didn't really have that much debate about him. He was just a great guy. We love his music. Then he takes
wore the
his
pink
turn.
polo.
Yeah, then he takes his turn into a little bit of evil character. Then he takes his turn into Christianity. Then he takes his other turn back into evil character. All the way throughout, there's this through line of: is he crazy? Is he not? Is he done?
No.
I mean, he got taken off of X, or I think he deleted his X account or whatever. But he unplugs, like after saying the most heinous stuff possible as an obvious stunt. Like, is this it? Is this it for Ye? He's
No,
gonna
of
fade into
course
irrelevancy because he tried to be something stupid, or is this just another chapter and there's 20 chapters left to go?
Dude, he was already saying this stuff like 2 years ago, and then he released Carnival, and it ended up being like the biggest song of the year. People don't care. People like to virtue signal, and
That is true.
and they have maybe a little more reason to than normal with some of the stuff that he has been saying. I'll concede, but at the same time, it's like people are going to listen to his music. People are going to buy his clothes. People are going to. I mean, yeah, after all that stuff he said, there was a thing that came out the next day to where it's like he grossed like 20 million in sales.
I just bought a new shirt.
Uh-oh.
I'm kidding.
Hopefully, no one from Courtridge is hearing this.
It was a joke, and no one is. Look, he could sell out an arena tomorrow. Nothing's changed.
That's the crazy part. If I found out that Kanye was performing in Fort Lauderdale, I would probably try to go. As terrible as that is to say, I would probably try to go.
I tried to go once when he did the tour, the Yeezus tour, where he was suspended. His whole stage was suspended.
Oh,
yeah,
no, that was the
yeah.
Life of Pablo tour.
Oh, it was the Life of Pablo tour. I wanted to go, and I had a ticket for Orlando because it looked fun. Like the mosh pit looked really fun, and I was like, it was like $200. I was like, okay.
I was at that one in Miami.
Oh, right. So he did it in Miami, and then he was going to come back, but he canceled the Orlando one I was going to go to. But
Yeah.
I have no, guys. We're all adults here. I gotta I gotta do my taxes tonight, so I'm not.
It was
I'm
one
not
of the
going-
best shows
I'm not-
ever.
Yeah,
It was the coolest live production I've maybe ever seen.
Were you
With
on the
him
floor?
On the stage? No, I wasn't. I was up, whatever you call not the floor, in the stands. But it was crazy with like the lasers that would like coming through him as he suspended. And I mean,
All right.
anybody who cares have seen the picture.
That sounds like a great concert story. I just want to know how many years do we have to wait before we can tell the real Blink 180 concert story? Because that's the one that the people want.
Blink 180. What's that band?
The Blink 22.
Blink 22.
Wait, can we before we move on from Kanye East, can we talk about our favorite albums?
Yes.
Okay, mine's Yeezus.
Yeah, that's probably the correct answer.
And then 808's second.
I've come to appreciate it more over time. I think The Life of Pablo is a more complete album.
It's fun.
And that was the one that really kind of hit me hard. I don't know. I like them all.
Life of Pablo was the first album I actually listened through for Kanye. So I would pick that one just because that was my starting. I'd listened to like other things he had done, but I'd never actually worked through an album.
That's
where I
crazy.
started.
That's
I know.
insane. That's
Have you
I'll
listened
wait.
to Graduation?
I believe so. Like I went back and
You would
listened to
know.
stuff. That's before Life of Pablo, right?
Way before.
Yeah,
That's
I
before
went-
808.
I went back and listened to most of his collection, but I don't remember sitting through any albums except for Life of Pablo and Yeezus. But Yeezus kind of because that's what everybody's doing.
I like Jesus is King too. I'll defend Jesus is King.
Yeah, I just always was so conflicted with his character turn for Christianity, kind of mostly because I just expected something like this to happen. David, I don't know what you're doing over there, but it's really obnoxious.
He's frying bacon right now. Just give him a second.
You can hear that?
Frying the Canadian bacon.
What's up? Not? Could you hear it?
Yes, we can.
Oh, you
There's
didn't.
like
Sorry.
there's static right
I
now.
was looking for my Taylor. Well, Brandon keeps touching his mic, and it sounds like we're in a wind tunnel. Stop
Sounds
touching
like
your mic.
I know. I'm done.
Sorry, guys.
The-
I was looking
I
for a
don't know what
Kanye
you're
West
talking about.
album, but I couldn't find one in my records. Sorry.
I think the only record I own is Donda. Surprisingly,
That's his mom.
yeah. I have a shirt with her face on the back.
She dead. All right.
Okay, that's I think this is enough Kanye talk.
Yeah, you don't have to
we
remind
don't
us.
have.
I have a question though.
Give it.
Give it.
So I think that you bring up an interesting point about your confliction with Jesus is King, with his
He just-
kind of like heel turn back and forth.
Which is what I was expecting that he was going to turn into a crazy person again after. So I was never really sure if I should put stock into it.
But I think so. When I hear your sentiments as we talk a lot about these kinds of things, I don't know David's thoughts as much, but the idea of whether it's the Christian celebrity or somebody thanking Jesus after a win on a football field, or somebody's creating a Christian album who typically creates secular music, or Christian movies and TV shows that come out and you see a lot of conservative Christians all kind of rally around it.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that kind of stuff? I have my own, but I would be curious to hear. Do you approach it kind of like skeptically, or are you just like eager to embrace it because you want it to be genuine?
I'm super skeptical of anyone that makes it a point to attach their fame to their faith. So I love when a sporting figure that's well known, that is victorious, he just won the Super Bowl, how do you feel? Well, first and foremost, I want to thank my creator. I want to thank my savior, Lord Jesus Christ. Well, like when you're doing that kind of in the moment, I just want everybody to know how I identify real quick. I'm cool with that. When you are a character built around your faith, I'm skeptical because, first of all, it's a really easy tactic for me to say I'm a Christian automatically attaches me to a huge demographic that I would have otherwise been excluded from. But if I just say the right words and espouse the right beliefs, like suddenly I have an audience. So there's that temptation. But then at the same time, like I just don't see that in Scripture. I don't see in Scripture that any of the apostles are going out there and they're saying, yo, I'm Paul and I used to be, well, I guess Paul's a bad example because he kind of did do that. I used to be a murderer of
Yeah.
Jews and now I'm a believer of Jews. So I don't know. Maybe I'm undoing my own point right there because Paul kind of rode that status, I guess you can say. So I don't
Yeah, Kanye is Paul. All right, guys, we really do.
moving on.
No, we should move on though because we've been talking about Kanye too long. So let's move on to.
I just asked an entirely different question.
No, but we should actually just completely move on. So let's talk about
we can't let David do whippets before podcasts anymore.
So let's talk about something else. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is probably the third best, but others might say the number one Kanye West album. So let's change topics and talk about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and why it's so good, and the fact that Miguel hasn't listened to it yet, obviously.
I couldn't even tell you any of the songs on there. But
If
I look it up on Spotify real quick, I'll be able to tell you right away. Like, oh, I recognize these songs by their titles.
But how are you a Kanye fan? I'm not even a Kanye fan.
I never claimed to be a Kanye fan.
You just said you were going to go see him if you played in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, because he's a historic figure, of course. So, I'd go see a lot of people if they're performing in my area.
You don't go to concerts because you like their music? Like, I would never.
What was the name of that album again?
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
That's crazy.
So you're not gonna. I would never go to a concert because they're a historical figure. I do not care. I have to love their music.
I've only ever listened to like I can tell you I for sure enjoy like 2 Taylor Swift songs. I do not listen to her music regularly. Like, it's not music I seek out. But if I had an opportunity to go see her on the show, I would definitely want to say, yeah, I want to see Taylor Swift once in concert. Like, that's just a historical thing that I want to be a part of, you know?
That doesn't really do much for me.
Bro.
I will say that I did one time go to a concert where Johnny Depp was playing with his high school band in Fort Lauderdale. And he never spoke. He just played lead guitar. But I got to stand there and be like, yep, that's Johnny Depp.
Okay, is all of the lights, is that song?
Well, you hummed it entirely wrong, but maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I might recognize that song. Is Monster, Sound of Monsters Under My Bed,
No.
was also with Rihanna?
No.
Okay, well, then I only recognize one song off this album. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
That's crazy.
We have to break something to you both, and this is going to be pretty tough to tell you guys. You guys are both weirdos. The fact that you would go see Kanye West if you're not a fan, and the fact that you saw Johnny Depp, it makes you both
That's
weirdos.
cool. You wouldn't go see Johnny Depp if he was coming to town?
I would go see Johnny Depp if he was in my library reading a book.
It was in a small club too, the Cinema Club. I don't know if you remember that. That was up in.
I know where that is.
Yeah, and so like it was a cool venue, and there was only maybe 500 people there.
It's just odd.
It's weird.
It's just odd to me, especially you, Miguel, as a person who loves music. And I heard you playing piano today, and it was very beautiful. It's just.
Oh yeah, you walked in, you caught me.
It's just odd because I'm a emotions music guy or connections. I would never go to a concert for someone I'm not interested in.
But that's where the connection for music happens. The connection with music always happens way deeper in a group than it is individual. So for me, I'm going to get enough experience from being surrounded by people that are big fans that are enjoying this concert together. I'm going to get enough out of being caught in that wave that it makes up for the fact that I'm not gonna be able to sing along to all the songs because I don't know her songs. But dude, a stadium full of a bunch of Swifties, that's an experience that I would go once. I'm probably not gonna go twice, but I'm definitely gonna go once.
A stadium full of 8-year-olds. Okay, look, I would rather listen to an
I don't know why you had to turn it into that.
Because it's true. What do you mean? It's true.
That's not true. I know so many 20 and 30-year-olds that went to this last concert in Miami.
Okay,
tons of my peers went.
So 8-year-olds, your peers, 20-year-olds, and 12-year-olds. So I like to listen to an album. I love concerts, but I like to listen to an album by myself on my record player, or if I'm driving on a road trip, just the whole album.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't need drunk people throwing up on me, or
7-year-olds
being like, "Mama, I don't know, I need to go to the bathroom."
I love an individual music experience, but did you know that God did not design music to be an individual experience? Did you know that your body is hardwired in such a way that when you experience music with another individual, your literal brain synapses reach out and grow new connections toward that person or those people just because you are sitting in the same room listening to music? If it's heavy metal and it's something you don't like, those synapses are going to make dark connections. If it's music you really like, those synapses are going to make healthy connections. That's how music is designed. Music was designed for a corporate environment. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a worship leader in a corporate environment church. I'm saying that because that's neurological music science.
Did you just say metal makes dark feelings? Because it's the opposite. It's so not true, bro.
I don't remember. See,
no,
David,
he said He said if
push
you
back
don't
on
like,
stuff that you don't know what you're talking about.
He said
I
if
don't
you-
remember
I've
the
been to-
university that did this study.
he
but
said
there's
if
a
you
study-
don't like metal, it might be a
yeah,
bad.
but also I don't remember the name of the university, but there was a study done with literal just growing little plants, and the plants that had heavy metal music played in front of them grew poorly. The music that had like classical and lighthearted music grew much better than the plants that had to listen to metal music. So take that for what it's worth, but metal music can be kind of destructive.
All right,
Well,
so
it's-
the University
it's
of
meant to be
Phoenix
stressful.
online did a study. actually,
Wholesale university.
actually, Mythbusters did that, but they did like heavy metal. I was just talking about like metal. Like Brandon and I both enjoy metal, so.
I'm a big metal fan.
David, do you feel like after going to the concert together the other day, we like made like an Avatar connection that we're now like.
Like a Dragon Ball Z, like you and I both became what's his face? Remember when the two like did?
Where
the
are
thing?
you on the here? Do the thing. On the,
Wait, what was that called? Trunk.
Who'd you guys go see
One,
again?
2, 3.
Trunks.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Who'd you guys go see again? I forgot.
They're called Lydia.
Lydia.
Yeah, it's a good show.
They're great.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we don't have our resident political expert, but we're still going to try to, dance around some of the more culturally relevant topics we have. We won't get super deep and detailed and get you the backstory from the back rooms, as Will helps us do so well. But there have been some interesting stuff happening over the last weekend. Somebody put on our show sheet, quote, "new Elon child," unquote, and I would love for someone to explain what that's all about.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing that we should talk about as Christian conservatives in light of what's going on right now. It's not so much the point of Elon had another baby with a woman out of wedlock, but it's the reaction to it and what we might feel, as obviously Elon Musk is somebody who many of us feel like is kind of like on our team here at the moment, or on our side. And we see this, I've seen it over and over again, where Christian conservatives, and more so, or will highlight Christians, will be willing to kind of like dampen the biblical truth for the sake of being able to draw in certain people, or rather not offend certain people who they feel like they need to be validated. I guess, so we've seen, so the whole thing with Elon Musk, the girl who is now, pregnant, or she had the baby, I don't know. You see a lot of these, like, Christian conservative people on social media and whatnot all kind of coming through and talking about, like, oh, this is so great, congratulations, and whatever. And I think there's another interesting thing to talk about, whether, like, what the response is for, a woman who finds themselves in that situation, and that can be a different thing. But I saw a similar thing.
Use the mute mic. Oh my gosh.
What? Oh no! I thought I was muted. I was muted. Wait.
You're not.
Wait.
Brandon's over here cooking.
I think you've been coming through your headphones this entire time.
No.
Yeah, your breathing's been coming in tight, so we're not. Might be. Who knows? It's all right. It's all right. It
Don't
wasn't
get
that
down on
distracting until you ripped the bell.
I was muted, bro.
That was the second time that happened.
Let's do it
by
on
the way.
Riverside, guys. This is great. And if I leave, it stops the recording.
No, not on Riverside, actually.
Not on Riverside. It just creates a new track that Miguel has to do this time.
Yeah, so don't do that. It's all right. It's all right. Just don't burp. Just don't burp out loud. You'll be fine.
I'm talking through a microphone that doesn't work.
Come on. Reheat
This
that
is
meal up
so
for us real quick,
stupid.
Brandon. So you're trying to draw attention to the fact that we have this
So,
conservative hero,
I think-
but he's kind of engaged in acts that are a little bit off the wall.
I think a better example is I think a better example is a few years ago, whenever Dave Rubin, if you're familiar with him, who was a conservative pundit, he like kind of rolls with like the Ben Shapiro crowd. I think he has a show on Blaze TV
Okay.
with what's his face, whatever. That's not the point. But he put an announcement picture to where it came out that him and his partner were expecting 2 babies from like surrogate pregnancies. And then you saw all of these, Christian conservative, influential individuals come out of the woodwork to be like, oh, congrats, Dave. This is amazing. You're going to, be such a great father, blah, 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 blah. when in reality, it's like we know that this is not a good and healthy thing. This is something that's, potentially going to be, in some way detrimental to the lives of these two babies. We get that Dave Rubin.
I wouldn't say potentially, but I understand where you're trying to be gracious. Yes.
Yeah, but so it's like I get like we like the things that Dave Rubin says, and I like a lot of the things that Dave Rubin says. But we so often are talking out of both sides of our mouth whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. And I remember, just one last example, and I'll shut up for a minute, where it's, we went to see Jordan Peterson did like a live thing in Fort Lauderdale. And we went to go see him, and he was talking about, the necessity of the family unit and how, for the psychology of like the child and the family, it's like this is the biggest thing that we can do and blah, 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 blah. And then, lo and behold, the moderator for the post-talk was Dave Rubin, who's married to a man with two surrogate babies. And it's like, well, what are we doing?
What's going on right now?
Yeah. So,
this goes back to what I was saying before about celebrity attaching your fame to your faith, and that's where you start to see those lines blurred. It's one thing for me to be a believer and come to you and say, look, I'm a believer, but also I'm struggling with lust. I need to talk about it. I have these issues. Like, I need help. I need accountability, whatever. It's another thing for me to be a nationally recognized figure who preaches or who pontificates about theology and the gospel, and everybody follows me. Now I have this pressure of how do I reveal myself to these quote unquote fans. And so I feel like for a guy like Elon, we attach all of this weight. I don't know. I'm struggling to find a good word to say, like all this spiritual weight to, because man, he represents what we think needs to happen. And then something like this comes out, and now you're stuck because you, myself included, by the way, because I was posting stuff on Instagram and like I'm celebrating everything that's happening at DOGE, and I'm celebrating. I love space. I love everything he's doing. Well, I'm celebrating this guy, and then suddenly this thing comes out, and it's like, okay, well now what do I do? Am I supposed to explain away his sin? I mean, I don't know what's going on in his life. I'm just using general words, talking as if I know, but I don't know what's going on in his personal life or that relationship. So I'm not trying to cast aspersions. I'm just saying, what do I do now? Do I have to readjust how I talk about him? Should I have not invested so much attachment to him before, or is it just like, let live and let live?
Do you think you can't be a fan of someone if they don't ascribe to your faith?
No, I don't think that.
Okay, then why would anything change? You never thought of him as a Christian. He never was.
Right,
So,
but what about all the people that are downloading my opinions or receiving something that I say differently now because of how attached I got to him before and what he's done?
they should be able to, they should be able to differentiate. You can't look at people, especially celebrities. And this is something that someone close to me actually does, which I really do not like. He looks at celebrities and athletes as like they should be these great people, and when he sees them as their true selves, whether it's a golfer, a tennis player, a football player, Formula One driver, it offends them, and he'll be like, yeah, I used to like him, but this. I go, I like these people, knowing that they're not Christians, knowing that they're awful people. I like them for their excellence in what they do. I like Elon for the excellence of what he does. I never expect him. I pray for all these people to one day become Christians, but just because they do something that doesn't align with my beliefs doesn't mean that I look at them any different or regret how much I love them or how much I support them. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. It's almost like the privilege of celebrity. He's not going to come to my house and be around my kids, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
actually,
how he is as a personal.
Check
person.
your mail. He's coming over tomorrow morning.
Oh snap!
Yeah, I love him. I love everything he does. No, yeah, I think you're exactly right with what you're saying, and I think kind of my larger point is, so right now we're in kind of a unique moment to where we have these kind of hero figures who we've kind of been, it's almost sounding like messianic, and I do not intend for it to. But like we have these figures that we've kind of been like waiting for because we've seen cultural shift go so far in this direction, and we're like, when is something gonna give? I mean, Will talked about it the other week with the pendulum, And it's like,
Yep.
when is this going to break? So now it feels like, shoot, we finally got it. We're here. So we have people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump are coming in and they're righting the ship, and we're so excited. But I think what we can't miss, especially us as the church, is to say, okay, like they were, the point of them was to open the door. But now we're in a place where we can't let them go on to dictate what the culture is going to look like. Donald Trump does not provide a picture of what biblical worldview spreading through culture ought to look like, and neither does Elon Musk. So we can't let them continue to lead from the front now that we have this opportunity. Now's the time to where the church needs to be able to come out and say, okay, you know, we love kind of what you're doing on this macro level, and we love, you know, kind of these principles on which we're aligned, but ultimately you've made a path for us now to come through. And this is the time where, you know, the church needs to be willing to say, okay, we're going to take it from here, because we know we're the only ones that have the answer to any of this. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they don't have the answer to the greater, you know, the greater ends to which, you know, what true flourishing looks like. We do. So I think it's so important that in this moment that is very unique, and we praise God for it, that we don't miss it. And I hope we don't.
That's a good point. We are in victory tempted to just chill, when really that victory doesn't mean, it means something, but it doesn't mean anything to the people that are still walking around lost, headed for an eternity without God, because they haven't heard or believed in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Like, that hasn't changed.
Well, it's
And in
even
fact,
just taking up the culture and saying, like, again, like, these aren't cultural leaders. These are leaders who know how to break down the doors of all the corruption and everything that's been going on that has kept the church from being able to, you know, fully, I don't know, to fully become this, you know, cultural shaker, which, you know, and again, I want to preface it by saying all this is, you know, by the grace of God that we're even in the situation that we are at the moment. Nothing happens absent of, you know, his will.
Amen.
But so at this point, we can't look at it and sit back and say, like, all right, Donald Trump and Elon Musk are going to continue coming and, you know, kicking butt, and we're going to just let them take the lead, and we'll be back here ready to support them all the way. Because it's like, no, we can't support them all the way, because that's not, like, they don't know where to go now.
Right.
You know?
Man, culturally irrelevant. The only podcast where you'll come to hear us walk you through a path that starts at Elon Musk and ends at Jesus Christ.
And
because at the end of the day, he is the way, the truth, and the life. Not our political leaders, not our political saviors, but Jesus Christ. Come on, wrap it up. Wrap it up for us there, David. Put a bow on it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say starts with whatever, ends with whatever, and then has me burping and breathing into the mic right in the middle, right there in the middle.
That's good.
But no, but I think just wrapping up, Brandon, I agree. You know, look, these are people at the end of the day. They're humans born with sin nature, and I think if you look at the entire, it does seem like in the political sphere, the entire cultural spaghetti, people really do look at politicians, celebrities, athletes as these like actual heroes, and so you can love someone, support them, and not actually be like they're just humans at the end of the day. So let them be humans and let them make their mistakes, and hope for some of them to become saved. But that's all.
And at the end of the day, it's an easy separation. Like, I want Elon and whoever else is involved to find all the corruption, rip it out, and start over. And if you're a Christian too, great. If not, it doesn't change the fact that I want you to find all that corruption, that I'll continue to pray for you, and that I continue to hope for the best. There's not really too much else to do other than that.
Yeah, there's got to be able to, we have to keep telling the truth, and we're blessed to be in a time to where we're able to tell the truth more firmly and more loudly than we have in a very long time. So I just think even if it, goes against where Elon Musk and, Donald Trump are going with the current administration, we still need to be willing. And that's not to say that I've seen, things that, we need to call this particular thing out, because, I think, things by and large have been pretty good. I mean, I think today was maybe like the first time that I've actually seen something that like I truly didn't like. But I know, so I think, things have been good, but we, have to be willing to tell the truth.
I mean, things are going super good, and I'm excited that they are digging for more truth. I'll take this as a great jumping off point to give some DOGE updates, because this is one of my new favorite things to follow.
Your stat's wrong, by the way, on the money saved, unless you updated it.
Oh, I looked at it yesterday, so no, I have not updated it as of today.
Yeah, I think there's been some big savings.
Hey, Brandon, what's your middle name? Snopes? Because you're always fact checking, bruh.
Well, I do know that
this is an exciting fact check.
It is a great fact check. Last Friday was the third highest total day. Almost $3 billion canceled in a single day. I mean, we're talking about 70 DEI contracts just under the Department of Education that were worth almost $400 million. So Friday was a huge day. But since last week, my favorite little figure on the website, doge-tracker.com, it breaks you down savings by taxpayer. And look, Mr. Musk, if you're listening to this and you need ideas, go ahead and listen to this. I'm not saying this is true. I just like to pretend that little number is going to become some stimulus check in the future that Donald Trump's just going to sign over.
No, they talked about that today.
They did? I have not heard that. That is
somebody,
exciting.
And this is so crazy how the government works now, apparently, where somebody on Twitter is talking about the money saved, kind of what you're saying, and he's like, what would be the odds that there would, we could set up like a taxpayer dividend? And Elon Musk replies to the post on X and is like, "I'll bring this to the president tomorrow." And see
you guys,
is not real.
No, but you guys can't seriously be in favor of a taxpayer dividend or a stimulus check. That's
no, yeah, I hate free.
I think
money.
a taxpayer.
No,
I think a taxpayer dividend for the money that's immediately saved, because that money's already money's already budgeted. Where's it going to go?
It's a government handout. Where's it going to go?
It's not a government handout. It's my money.
Brandon, do you know about the deficit right now? Do you know about the interest on the debt? It's the stupidest thing.
All I'm saying is $344 per taxpayer is not going to put a ding in the debt. Give it to
no, by the time it's done, it would be
stupidest
a couple houses.
And I'm sorry to get angry about this, but actually during COVID, the small business loan, the PP, what I don't know what it's called, but
the PPP loans.
PPP, but a person I know who was an executive at the time, the company got that loan, and he goes, "We're immediately paying this back. We're not using a dime of this because we don't."
That's great.
Why did he do that?
Because people who,
He shouldn't know. I'm just saying.
Okay, well you guys should take
those COVID stimulus checks were sweet. I'm just saying, if they want to throw more my way, I don't care if it's a government handout or not. I'll take it.
I think it's a stupid thing to think because of what government handouts are and how I think my conservative political position is against any type of government handout, and we see it everywhere, from unemployment to disability to Obama phone lady, which we talked about. It's the dumbest thing. It's a waste of money. And for us, which I'm not doing, but for you guys to go, oh, now that we're cutting things, we want stimulus. I think it's stupid.
That's not what was said, though. It's not.
You're talking about checks in the mail.
It's not a stimulus. It's a dividend. It's money that we were giving to the federal government that was being used in extraneous circumstances to fund the dumbest crap ever that is being returned to my pocket. I already gave it to them. I'd rather them give it back.
How is that not it should just be a tax break then? Why is it a stimulus?
Well, no, the dividend would probably be a tax credit at the end of the year.
I'll take it as a tax credit too.
You just talked about like it being a check in the mail, so
no, that was Miguel that was saying that because he was talking about stimulus checks. I'm saying with the tax dividend, how it would be set up, it would be returning that money to the taxpayer because it's coming off the books, and we're the ones who funded it.
Well, as of yesterday, that potential tax credit / stimulus check.
It's not a stimulus check.
It's up to $327.
I'm just saying, stimulus implies stimulating the economy via the printing of more money. That is bad. I agree with David.
I'm just trying to evoke the good feelings that came when Trump cut his checks during COVID. That's all.
I know you got new.
Those were terrible. And
I did.
And that was a bad idea, and then ended up.
It was a bad idea.
All right, whatever.
It was a bad idea. You're right. We agree.
No, you do not. Miguel does not agree with me.
I do not agree. I want that money. Put that cash in my pocket.
It's not a good economic.
That's money that I worked for, that I earned, that I chose to legally give my government, because there's options and ways to not do that. We all know. I willingly gave those taxes to my government because my Bible says that I'm supposed to give to Caesar what is due to Caesar. I gave it to Caesar. Caesar squandered it away, and now he's discovered, like, oh, I had all this money sitting here that was going to be used for bad things, but we've taken it back. Here's your money back. Oh, thanks, Caesar.
Oh,
That
yeah, no, I
encourages
agree
me
with
next
that.
year.
I'm just saying the stimulus thing. The
All right,
stimulus
we
was a
won't call it a
mistake.
stimulus. We'll just call it a refund check. Is that better?
No, it would be a tax dividend.
Okay, tax dividend. I like that official term.
Right.
Mr. Musk, if you're listening, we're all for your tax dividend idea.
He's not, and he will never be, and no one listens.
David, I know that you're a hater, and then we have to drag your butt into this podcast every week because you think you're too cool for us. But we have hundreds of downloads. We have fans all across the world. We have fans in Dominican Republic. We have fans in France. So please do not disparage our growing listener base, because we love you. We're thankful for you. Even though David pees on you every episode,
No,
we recognize you.
David
and we
loves
see
our
you.
French audience. Look at his face right now. Yeah, there you go. He's just embracing it.
That might be my favorite moment from tonight, is getting to debut my French laugh. How you guys feeling? You want to dive into any more political stuff, or you want to wrap this baby up?
I feel like I saw something else.
If we wrap it up, can I do the cinnamon challenge at the end?
Yeah, definitely at the end, but save yourself. Drink some water to get yourself hydrated.
Okay, we need to post this back on Instagram real quick. Just tune in for the end of the show, because one of our co-hosts is going to do the cinnamon challenge.
And I'm not going to do a
Smart.
teaspoon. I'm just going to, like, toss
The
it.
whole thing?
No.
I
just
actually,
like
I actually can't wait for this. Hold on, because we have one other segment to talk about.
This might actually get us kicked off live streaming, but
Is it dangerous?
I mean, people have died.
Oh, then I
From
won't.
the cinnamon challenge, really?
Yeah.
Oh, then I won't do
Okay.
it. I don't want to do that. I was just going to shove the entire thing in my face, but if people have died, then I won't.
Well, it just dries out your airways, and it could
Man, that
like
would've
you could choke on it.
That would have been such a tragic end to the
Sorry,
culturally
guys.
relevant
Well, now I feel
podcast.
bad about it. I was gonna let him do it, and he didn't know.
Well, you saved my life.
I did, so I guess.
All right.
It's
Our
a catch-22.
recurring segment, Habits for Humanity, and today's habit is don't do the cinnamon challenge because it's dangerous.
That's good. Dude, what do you think about all those plane crashes still?
This most recent one was crazy.
Everybody alive.
It's the new, yeah, that was wild.
But also, people are blaming Trump. It happened in Toronto. And I saw a funny tweet from, I don't know if you follow Greg on X, and he was like, the craziest thing about this whole thing to me is that there were 80 people going to Toronto. It's like, shoot, you're right.
All those
Yeah.
people on one plane. That was kind of wild, man. It's funny how the new virtue signal is wait for information, don't give it. But honestly, I mean, I've only seen the clip a few times, but I've been flying my whole life, and I feel like I can say with pretty good certainty that plane came down hard on that tarmac. Hard on that
Well,
tarmac.
it crashed the landing gear.
I mean, so I don't know.
It crashed the landing gear, everyone. All you
I'm not gonna-
aviation nuts out there. It crashed the landing gear.
I'm not going to say that it's
I don't think that's a bad term.
100% pilot error,
stand by
but the visual does not look good. Now, how are they blaming that on Trump exactly?
I don't
missed
know,
that.
but well, they're just saying that because of the DEI cuts, that it's leading
Affecting
to
Canada too, huh?
I don't know, but when in reality it was, I can't remember who was the new travel secretary, but
Well, wasn't Pete
Transportation.
wasn't Pete Buttgag the last one?
yeah, he was.
Buttgag.
yeah,
Am I saying that right?
Gag.
yeah,
I
that's
think
great.
so.
Yeah. No, but the well, it was funny. Like I think it was Eric Swalwell, which I love
super
following
I mean,
Eric Swalwell.
well, dude,
He's so
if you
funny.
if you want to sleep with Asian spies, he's your guy. He's been there, done that.
he's been there, done that. What's her name? Fang? Is that her name?
Yes.
I think it is her name. But,
Oh gosh.
but no, he was talking about how it's like, the more plane crashes of any administration in their first so-and-so days have happened under Donald Trump. And like 5 minutes later, there's a community note on it being like, it's just not true. More happened under Joe Biden in his first, like this just happened like not long ago where we were seeing planes. But of course it's going to be very highly.
I will say, though,
publicized.
I mean, I guess some people would say 35 is, oh, you're so young. It doesn't feel young. It feels, pretty pretty old and experienced.
Oh,
at this
you're
point.
halfway dead.
I just don't remember any season of my life where plane crashes were this much a thing as it's been over the last 3 months, 6 months. If you want to go back to like 2 or 3 years to cover the Max 8 drama, just this little period of my life, it feels like
Well,
planes have been
2001.
going really bad very frequently. 2001 was a turning point.
Bad year for planes.
Bad. Wow. A real bad year for planes, and
Especially
tall
near the end of
towers.
the year.
I saw this kid on Instagram went into a Halloween store, and you know how they have like the bags with like the costumes, and then like the cardboard little printout of what the costume is. He replaced one, and then he put a picture of Osama bin Laden, and then he wrote airline pilot.
Oh my gosh.
And he was trying to buy it.
Dude. Yeah.
Guys, if I'm not mistaken, we're pushing about an hour right now. Let's start wrapping this bad boy up before we get to David's cinnamon challenge.
I'm not doing that.
Too late. You already promised.
Is there a
the
different
audience.
challenge you can do?
You said I would die.
Well, look it up.
If you do it wrong, just do the tablespoon, then you won't die.
Okay, I'll do a tablespoon, and I'll get water. All right, you guys do your thing, and I'll get ready.
It's just habits for humanity this week, and I got one habit that I'm really convinced of that I feel like everybody needs to follow.
Exercise.
That, but also, if you're not reverse parking, you are A, lazy, B, you're risking other people's lives for no reason, and
What?
C, you're a bad driver. And all of those three things apply at the same time. If you don't back in park, all three of those things that I can't remember what they were right now, all apply.
I don't agree.
What single benefit?
I'm coming out staunchly against
What
habits of free
single
humanity.
benefit or advantage exists to forward parking compared to back in parking? Give me one.
You go like this.
It's actually incredibly more difficult to park forward in than back in.
That's not
That's
true.
scientific, buddy. The turning wheels.
Miguel, how many times can I disagree with you in one night?
Tell
How
that
many
to all the
times do you guys
people.
have to reveal how dumb you are? It's amazing to me. It's
It's
amazing
not
the opinions
true.
you take
How-
that you actually don't know what you're talking
what-
about.
in what
It's
world is it-
geometry.
it's
if
faster?
the turning wheels are in the front, you're pulling the vehicle in and taking an angle
Yeah.
the entire way in. If the turning wheels are in the back, you're pushing the
Geometry.
vehicle in and straight lining it into your spot.
The geometry famously tells us it's easier to see what's behind us and what's in front of us.
I mean, in
It
2025,
takes
it
longer.
is, yeah.
It takes longer.
It does take
If you're bad at it, it takes a long time. Yeah, if you
No,
don't know how to line your car up with your side view
that
mirrors,
was not
yes.
No, it
that was
take-
not his claim. Address his claim.
It's
It
stupid.
takes longer. True or false?
It takes longer if you're a bad driver.
No.
I do not take longer
You have
to
to
back in
you have
than I
to
do
you have to
forward.
pass the spot in order to back in. Correct.
You have to take an out
This is
route to get
unbelievable.
in, so you have enough of a turning angle to get it into one shot.
You
With
have to
reverse
you have to
parking, I literally just have to pass the thing on the same line I'm at, hard 90, boop, and I'm in.
Yeah. Or you could just do.
I bet Miguel,
Yes.
and I love you, but I bet when you're driving in the rain, you put your hazards on, even though
I do not.
even though
I-
even though
you know what,
hazards
I-
mean car stopped and it's illegal
I'm
in
gonna-
Florida.
I'm gonna say this, even though I'm a worship leader for a big church, and I don't know if I should, but I'm not a peaceful driver, and one of my most annoying rage driving habits. that
You
my
back
wife-
into parking spots. Of course, you're not a good driver. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm actually an excellent driver. But one of my worst rage habits is whenever we're in the rain and somebody has their hazards on, I will get right up behind them and I will start flashing my high beams in sequence with their hazard lights until they turn their hazard lights off. It almost works
Does it
every
work?
time. Almost every time it works.
I don't know that we can be friends. That's
Just saying.
insane.
I know it is. I can't stand hazard lights in the rain. So I'm just
Okay.
out there enforcing the rules of the road.
Yeah. I just don't think backing in. I never told. It's faster to get out.
Oh my gosh.
I'll give you that.
It's safer to get out.
Maybe marginally.
Wait, but you just said that reversing is easier geometrically. So how is it safe?
Yeah,
how is
wait
it
a
safer to
second.
get out when you're not reversing out? You're pulling out forwards. How is it safer to get out? Boom! Logic. Cinnamon challenge. Let's go.
Every time Miguel's pulling out, he's so bummed he can't be reversing.
Are you ready to get schooled? Are you ready to get schooled?
Sure.
When you're parking into a space, there's two boundary lines. When you're pulling out of a space, there are no boundary lines, or if the car's the boundary lines, it's way wider. Way easier to pull forward when you're going from small to big than it is to pull in when you're going from big to small.
What do you mean?
See-
What do you mean boundary lines?
You keep talking about how hard it is to pull a car in, and now I am starting to question.
You
if
might
maybe
be
you
an
just have a
awful
hard
driver.
time.
You just might be the world's worst driver ever.
You just keep going on and on about how difficult it is to pull a car into a parking spot.
Dude, it's one of the hardest things ever. I'd rather reverse it. Have you ever tried to?
Forward is impossible.
It's so dangerous.
segment's backfired on me a
It's so dangerous.
All I do is drive in reverse. It's way safer.
Just cut to Miguel on 95, ripping 90 miles. Just like, I'm not going straight, boys.
He's waving out the window. No, you don't understand. It's safer. It's safer.
If you look at it geometrically. The lines.
Wow. This
right.
this backfired so hard on me. All right.
Yeah,
David,
don't
are
say-
you really going to do this? Are you really going to do the cinnamon challenge right now?
Yeah.
ChatGPT did say it was dangerous, but maybe that makes it more exciting.
All right. Well,
Did it really?
if you're just listening to us on audio, make
Yes.
sure you go find this podcast on YouTube because you're about to watch David Wright maybe cheat.
Wait, let me text my address. Let me text my address to the group chat in case I die, and then you
Yeah.
guys have to call it because I'm on.
We're not going to do anything about it.
You might have to
Well,
watch
I'm
this
not gonna-
clip on Live Leak.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have Miguel come get me because it'll take 5 hours for him to drive 12 miles.
He's even trying to pack in all the spaces. he's gonna run up the stairs backwards.
Wait, are you doing the cinnamon challenge or am I doing the cinnamon challenge?
He's gonna be like knocking on the door behind him.
Geometrically, it's better.
You guys suck. I'm never doing a podcast with you ever again.
This is safer.
It's so much easier.
All right. David's
my
going to put this spoon of cinnamon in his. I'm getting in close. I want to see this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to us on audio only, make sure you find our podcast on YouTube.
Our viewers
Fast
have
forward.
gone down.
Should I
by the
mute
way.
myself because I'm about to be like wheezing?
No, we want to hear those sounds.
Yeah, here we go.
3. Oh, he didn't wait for the
one?
countdown. Oh, he's already shaking his head. He's already headphones are off. He's gone. Oh no!
Wait, David, we need to know if you're okay.
This is the best podcast we've done so far. David, are you there?
No, he's not there. He took his headphones off. Okay,
He's
let
gone
me
from the
talk you
camera.
through it. So right now he's gone from the camera. We're singing Empty Seat. Oh,
Did you swallow or did you spit it out?
Bro, come on. I actually spit it out reversed, which means I swallowed it. Because it's actually geometrically. If you look at how,
it was actually safer at that
and
point.
it's easier. It's easier when I'm pulling out.
I can't breathe right now. All right. So, for those of you that are just joining us, make sure you park back in and don't do the cinnamon challenge. I believe that we have been culturally irrelevant long enough, but maybe for the
never
best
long
hour that we have done yet so far.
I hope somebody thinks so because that was so much fun.
That was fantastic. I love you, boys. Let's get out of here.
I love you. Hey, David's gone. I'll pretend to be him.
This has been an episode of Culturally Irrelevant, a production by us. Check it out on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or any other major podcast platform by searching for the Culturally Irrelevant Podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you back with the boys next week.
Like a trace of